Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, DJs and entertainers across the United States, Canada, and the rest of the world. We are sitting down with Miss Flo. This is Stacy, who is known as DJ Flo, and it's one of my absolute favorite stories and truly highest of compliments when somebody who is in my market, Arizona, feels comfortable enough to reach out and say, Scott, I have a question. Would you be willing to share some ideas in that respect? And the truth is, it's a great example that there's no competition. There's only colleagues. And that's the way I view you. And that's the way I run my business. And I'm so flattered that you have a question for us today.
I do. So I have been doing the paperwork and stuff like that. So through PDF, Microsoft Word, and I'm wondering what kind of advice you can give to do a, it's fillable. And I saw it because I saw your comment on another DJ thing saying, hey, do it this way. And I don't know what platform you suggest. What do you suggest? Because I'm like, I want to make it easier for clients, but it's like, I also want to make it easy for myself. And I've played with I think DJ Intelligence or DJ Event Planner. I'm not sure which one I played with before, but it just seemed like it was a lot of setup.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, they are all a lot of setup.
Okay.
So there's no getting around that. But I will tell you that some of the forms that you're referring to that I had showed on one of the other DJ platforms, and I'm just going to share my screen here for a second and show you so that everybody knows what we're talking about. This particular form is what I refer to as a father-daughter. Whoa, am I sharing the right screen? Do you have my screen?
Okay. Father-daughter.
All right, there we go. So this is the father-daughter dance form, and it doesn't always have to be a dance. It may be a moment. If they're not dancing together, you would still want to collect this kind of information. After you get their initial information, it's things like, what do you like to do with your daughter? What are you looking forward to? The best of times, the worst of times, making memories. This is a form.
Okay.
And this is done through DJ Intelligence. Okay. And I get real fancy. I've got pictures here and I've got other stuff that they can click on. This is DJ Intelligence on steroids. Most of the time, you normally just end up with something that looks like this, which is a simple form.
Right.
And that's what they're known for. So because somebody asked me, can you send me that form so that I can duplicate it in mine? It's like, no, because a company did this for me. So I can't share this specific form, but I can share with you the idea. So that's what you're talking about. But wait, there's more. You don't have to use DJ Intelligence. They make it easier for you, but there is a thing called Google Forms that is really easy to use. I mean, the learning curve is like barely anything at all. And you can create forms with that, and it does translate to a Excel spreadsheet kind of thing so that you can then import it into your systems. Here's what's going on. This DJ Intelligence form that I just showed you, this is their entry-level product. It's $110 a year.
Okay.
But it is not camera iPhone friendly.
Okay.
Which means that you've got to pinch and you've got to, it's not phone friendly. And so I should drop the extra $100 and go to their upgraded thing. But by the way, it's every year, not a month. It's an annual thing. But I think for $200 or somewhere around there, you get their updated one, which is phone friendly. And that's really important, which is why we're talking about PDF. First of all, the problem with PDF is they're not always on the computer. As a matter of fact, we're business people. We're on the computer all the time. Okay, what's your name? Let me send you some information and I'll talk to you on the phone. That's the computer. They're here. right here on their phone. And so if they're pinching and moving and trying to look at stuff and it's not phone friendly, you're in trouble.
Right.
And depending on what you use, is it going to translate into what you're then using in the office? How many DJs do you have?
It's just myself and my husband.
Okay, but you still have two,
Yeah.
which is more than me because I'm one. Okay,
Right.
right. But with two or more DJs, then you want to make sure that it's not only easy for the end user, your couple who's getting married, but it's also user friendly in the office so that you can disseminate that information if you have a multi-op, or
Right.
that they know where to look and they can find it and the information's there. Or hold on, really old school, they're going to print it out. Right?
So that's what I've been doing, because it's a Microsoft Word form. So they literally have to print it out and fill it out.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Or
Right. But as I'm sure you know, okay, is that an I or an E? And was that an S or it's like, forget it. You want them to type it. A quick sidebar. I don't take, I'm old. You're young. So you don't have this problem, but I'm old. I can't listen. I grew up in the DJ clubs, wiki, wiki, wiki. I can't hear a damn thing. So when I'm at the wedding and the music's playing and somebody comes over and says, would you play? I can't hear what they're saying. I have this whole thing that lets them text the song to me. Now I can read it. I can copy and paste it, throw it into a word search if I don't a search, Google search, and find what it is that they're referring to and say, oh, they said apple bottom jeans, and I know that means low.
right.
Right. Okay. So, but they make that mistake with all kinds of songs, not just that one. So anyway, that's
my
the
favorite
sidebar.
was a kid came up and said, I don't know what the song's called, but it goes kind of like YMCA. And I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously. I'm like, okay, who's your parent?
That's too fun. That's too fun.
I was like, oh my God, because I get the apple bottom jeans all the time, but the YMCA, I'm like, oh, that's a new one.
Or boots with the fur.
I am, yep.
Same song. And by the way, my daughter, who's in her 20s, she calls that song Boots with the Fur.
Really?
So there you go. And she's a daughter of a DJ.
You're like, come on.
So back to the plan. You're doing a few weddings, right? A year. And you want to communicate, you want to gather some information. I'm assuming, are you doing the full planning on your form right now? Or you're just gathering information and then you do what I call a design time?
So mine is like, I call it like a bridal homework, where they pick all of their special songs for, the ceremony and all that. So I send it out in the beginning, and then I tell them just get it back to me, 2 weeks before the wedding. So I use that to complete all my side of stuff. But I notice I'm a little old school and I shouldn't be doing like, Microsoft Word. Everyone's not going to take it off and, write in this stuff. But then also I'm seeing lately that people are typing on it, which is cool. But at the same time, the format totally changes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what were you wanting to do? And it just looks horrible. So I'm like, I need to figure out. And I'm like, I've kind of looked at the Google Forms, and I like your kind of, how that goes. I just wanted to be able to be like, type it in, click, tab, something to make it easier for myself, for the customer, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. So less is more, and drip is better than all at once. Yes. And it sounds like you know what I'm talking about, but just in case the audience is going, what is he talking about? Let me just explain. If you book something today and the wedding is next week, pardon me.
Oh, bless you.
Okay. That's a nightmare, because now you've got to collect everything all at once. But if you're lucky enough that they book something 6 months or more in advance, then instead of sending this form that's like 13 pages long, you send them, I just need this piece of information. And it has maybe 5 or 6 questions. And then there's a link at the bottom of that form that lets them answer more questions if they want, or Next week, you're going to send them another email that says, thank you for the information you shared. I'd really like to know about this, or are you planning? And then, so then it's a drip, drip, drip. So they don't feel overwhelmed that they have to do it all at once. And there's a bonus in that respect, because if the form is too long, they get overwhelmed.
Right.
But one of the advantages to the DJI intelligence forms is once you do one, they already have your contact information. So you don't have to fill it in again. You already know who this information is for, and they line up all the forms based on this is for Stacy.
Okay.
So that's an added advantage. Plus you get all the music stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about, the music stuff?
Kind of sort of know.
Well, okay. So you've got planning forms, but then you also have what I refer to as music lists. And there's people ask all the time. There's a thread going on right now. The lady's asking, Bride is asking for a list for music for dancing after her DJ leaves. It's like,
okay,
no, you don't want a list for music after your DJ leaves. You want the DJ to stay.
to be playing those music.
Right, to be playing, not only to be playing that music, but also to read the crowd so that you know when to play something. Because if it's just on a playlist and it's going random, it's like, God knows what the audience is going to do. But with intelligence, and again, I'm going to share my screen for just a moment here.
And I've had that lately, like, oh, what is your playlist? I'm like, I don't have a playlist. I read the crowd. If someone's not dancing to this, I'm going to switch it to this.
And that's smart. You know? That's smart.
I'm like,
and don't get me started about how long you should play the song, because that's a whole other conversation. And the older they are, they want the whole song, and the younger they are, 10 seconds is too long.
Right.
But
short attention span.
Right. This list is the top 200 for DJ Intelligence. And I send this link to my couples or to my clients, corporate as well. And then they can actually click on the add or play if possible and the do not play. And they can create their own personal list.
Okay.
Right. And then there's a drop down box here that says, I'm looking for songs for my dance with dad. Right. And so now it's going to refresh. And these are the top 50 songs that people dance with dad. And this list is actually dynamic. As couples are clicking on the plus signs, the list is actually dynamically updating, so that this Heartland song that's number 1, I loved her first, might become number 4 because another song became more popular. So what I'm looking at right now is actually a slice in time. It's continually being updated. So it's pretty cool tool. And again, you can drop down and do things like bouquet and garter and last dance and introductions and cake, all that stuff. And 99% of all this stuff that's on this list, you're going to have anyway. And if you're a promo only subscriber, then you never have to worry about it because you got everything you need. Okay, shameless plug for promo only.
So I don't have to, because I used to do like an Excel. I'm a nerd. An Excel spreadsheet of like, hey, these are the most popular songs for bouquet, and so it's all right there. I'm like,
correct.
Okay. All right.
And I, by the way, you and I are obviously old school, because I also, with DJ Intelligence, you could upload your own lists.
Okay.
And I uploaded my list for garter, bouquet, and everything. And the guys at Intelligence went, that's a really good idea, Scott. We should do that. And then they started doing it on their own. So now I don't have to bother updating my list because they do it for me.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Well, what you like is a company that takes your ideas and implements them into their product and service so that they can offer you a better service.
Right. Yes.
And that's what couples are looking for. So, which is why a tool more than just a form might be an added advantage to your company. But this is not a sales pitch for this service. There are other ways that you can do these kinds of things. The question is, how much work do you want to do? See, well, there you go. I see it on your face. You said you used to do a spreadsheet, right? Well, now you don't have to do that all the time because it's already there for you. And I've been there, done that. But again, even though I'm using the less expensive version, I think that the one that's, I forget what they call it, but it's dynamic for your phone. That
And because I was just looking, I think, at that, trying to figure out, so, okay, if you could answer, what is the difference between DJ Intelligent and DJ Event Planner?
night and day. There's a place and a time and a reason for each.
Okay.
If you have DJ Event Planner, you do not need DJ Intelligence.
So I had a trial period of DJ Event Planner.
Okay. DJ
And I
Event
didn't like
Planner, well, it again, the learning curve is steep, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of things that you need to do to get in place before it'll work for you. But DJ Event Planner is actually a database program. It's
Okay.
a customer CRM, which is customer relationship management tool. Let me brag for a second here and ask you a question at the same time. Do you wish your couples happy birthday or happy anniversary?
I used, well, no, not, I used to do happy anniversary, and I used to do through send out cards, but then they changed their whole dynamics, and
They did.
I don't like it anymore. So I was going to go old school and start sending out cards, but then I'm so busy that I have not done it now for 2 years, which that's not an excuse because the pandemic happened, and but I wasn't busy with DJ, but I also own a notary company. So
okay. So you're just a little distracted, which is okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm looking to see if somebody liked my recent post. I'd have to go find somebody. I'm currently wishing happy birthday or happy anniversary every single day of the year, 365 days a year, each day, anywhere from 20 on a slow day to 100 on a good day, every day of the year. And my list is, because I'm always bragging about the size of my list, is over 35,000 contacts.
Oh, wow.
Okay. You want a system for that, because the last thing you want to do is manually be saying happy birthday or happy anniversary. That's a lot of work. However, if you're not tracking your people like that, and you think that it's a good way to build your business and to maintain it, then that's a good idea. And that's what DJ Event Planner will do for you.
Okay.
There's another program that's called DJ Manager, and I happen to know the guy that manages that. He's a little wacky, but he's very helpful, and he happens to be yours truly.
And which one is that called? DJ?
And this one's called DJ Manager. But
Manager.
The big difference here is DJ Manager is software. It runs on your computer. And DJ Event Planner is web-based. So it runs off of your browser. Two different things. Also, DJ Manager only works for your customer relationship. It does not work for your website, which is why I use DJ Intelligence, because I don't need Event Planner, which is a CRM. My DJ Manager does that for me. Okay. Anyway, I'm way in the weeds. So
how do you send out your anniversary, birthday? Because thank you. I always get my birthday cards and everything. So or through the email. Do you use the DJ Manager for that then? Well,
one of the nice things is when I get up in the morning, I click the word print on my DJ Manager, and it goes through my complete list of names, all 35,000 contacts, and it says who on this list has a birthday or an anniversary today, and then send them a brand new, personalized, never received before, just for them email that says happy birthday. So on October 21st, which is your birthday, mine too, by the way, you should be getting from me. Is your birthday not October 21st?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so is mine. Just a coincidence here.
I love it.
And then when I want to send Marty a happy birthday on December 15th, he gets one as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So there you go. But what's nice is instead of doing each one at a time, I just click print, and it goes through the list, and it says, do they need a birthday today? Send it. If they don't, go to the next person. Yes, no, yes, send. Okay, and that's it. I walk away, I have a spot of tea, right? And my breakfast. And when I come back, it's done.
Oh, wow. And is it under djmanager.com?
.biz. I'm a busy guy.
I'm all pulling it up at the same time.
But you can do similar things with Event Planner as well, DJ Event Planner. It's just a question of which tool works best for you. But let me be fair. If you thought that there was a learning curve for Event Planner, there's a learning curve for DJ Manager as well. Here's the real big distinction. Do something once, and then it's automated after that.
Right. And that's why I'm like, it might take a little bit of a setup. Sorry, granddaughter was trying to run in.
No,
I'm like,
you're allowed to have some friends.
I told my daughter, I'm like, all right, go get her. And I understand like a little bit, it's going to be like some setup and stuff like that. And I'm okay with that. But I just felt like DJ Event Planner was a lot, maybe it was just harder to navigate, maybe.
So let me give you just one more hat, because I wear a few hats around here. Here's one more for you. As you can see, the background keeps changing, right?
Okay.
I've sold the software DJ Manager to hundreds, if not thousands of DJs. And the number of DJs who want it is everyone who bought it. But the number of DJs who actually use it, way smaller. Because they don't want to take the time. They want the results, but they don't have the time or the energy to actually do this.
Right.
In walks Faver. Faver is a marketing service that offers all of what I've described for a small monthly fee, and we manage it for you. So you don't have to do anything about it. For 10 cents a person, or 10 cents a change, or for 10 cents an email, everything is covered. So if you have 100 people and you want to send out 100 email, it'll cost you 10 cents per 100. Is that $10?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not breaking back.
I'm bad at math.
Yeah, that's okay. So it's not really, really expensive. And most of it is automated so that everything comes from your email address with your email signature at the bottom. They never know about Faver. They certainly don't know about me, right, as another DJ. And I manage this for DJs here in Arizona and other states and other event professionals, including Celebrity Tux and Tails, which happens to be one of my customers. And they've got hundreds of names on our list. But their bill each month is, maybe $40, $50. Depending on how many emails they send. And it covers everything from when somebody asks for information regarding your DJ services, and then you have an email that goes out that says, thank you very much. And it comes from your email address. It looks like you personally wrote it. And what are you using, Outlook?
Outlook. Well, no, for DJ, I do Gmail.
Okay, Gmail. But you have a signature at the bottom, right?
Yes. It used to be Yahoo.
All right, we won't talk about that or Gmail, but suffice to say, whatever your signature looks like for your Gmail account, we mirror that. So it looks like it came from you.
Okay.
Okay. And the return address is your Gmail address, not my email address. Doesn't say anything about Faver in it. So then when they reply, thank you very much for this information, we'd like to meet, they're replying to you. They're not replying to Faver.
Okay.
Okay, so there's another option, if you will. And by the way, if you opt for something like that, then we discuss options for managing your forms.
Okay, perfect.
So that instead of dealing with the forms and the information, you simply give us a list of questions, and then we'll disseminate that information to the client, couple, to fill out the information, and then it lands in your inbox.
Okay.
So again, just some options and ideas. But as I mentioned, when you schedule this, I'm not selling anything. My goal is to help you make some choices that work for you. Again, Google Forms is the least expensive and easiest, barrier of entry for all of this.
And whenever I've looked at it, I've made it very difficult.
Oh, and you can brand it with your colors too, if that makes sense.
But I like how the DJ Intelligence, how you can, like you showed me the music list and stuff. I could say play, don't play, maybe. Okay. I really like.
We're not sub-selling DJ Intelligence. If you want all those features, you really have to have a DJI account.
Right. And that's okay.
Okay. I don't want to oversell and then underdeliver.
Right. No.
I want to go the other way.
Yep. No, I understand. So you think Google Forms is easier to do, but DJ Intelligence seems like it offers more.
Yes, that would be my suggestion, if you will.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look at that, the DJ Manager too. And like I said, DJ Event Planner, I've played with, but I'm just like, it didn't work for me, you know.
And I understand that. The best CRM is the one you use.
There you go. That's
but it's true. It's just like, you know, when I mentioned that a lot of people buy DJ Manager, but they don't use it. Right. You need to find something that you're either comfortable with or a service that's going to fulfill your needs so that you can do what you do best, which is DJ, and not be worrying about the minutia of the details.
Right. And that's where, like, right now, that's what I'm dealing with is like, I want to, you know, focus my attention over here, but I'm like, I've got to get my forms to start being more, you know, more friendly, especially with our couples these days that are only on their cell phone. They don't have a way to print.
Yeah, I mentioned that multiple times. One of the nice things about In Faver, Celebrity Tucks and Tails, as I mentioned, they do open houses all the time. So as a result, they get lists. And those lists then go into In Faver, and they have an automatic stream of information that drips to them every couple of, you know, weeks. They get an email that talks about their services and what to do. Now,
how do you not get put on like a spam list? Because one of my emails got put on a spam list. I don't remember which one, and it's kind of messed up our stuff.
It can mess things up. So there's a couple things that are working against you, if you will. And the first is that you are a business using Gmail. And that's, even though if I had a Gmail account and I sent an email, the odds on it landing in Gmail are better than if I'm using something else. But that's only if I'm an individual. As a business, it's not the same. And what happens is you can end up in the spam folder, or even worse, in a place where they're saying, ooh, spammer, and you can't come in. Our system does not avoid that problem, but it minimizes it. And the system that we use is continually updated and upgraded so that we can do our best to land in their inbox, as opposed to their spam folder or their junk folder. But there's, again, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. And people who are getting your email will all of a sudden now, why are you ending up in my spam folder now? Because the rules have changed. But Gmail is a challenge. It's one of the reasons why within Faver, we can't use Gmail as an account. But you have a website, which means that you have an email address for that domain. And that's the email address that you want to use. It's going to help. It also makes you look more professional. I'm not passing judgment. There are thousands of DJs out there with Yahoo and Gmail accounts. But the truth is, the guy or the lady that works for Pepsi does not have a Gmail account. They are Stacy@PepsiCo.com. Right? And you should be the same. Whatever your DJ company name is, ABC DJs that's who you should be.
I gotta look back on there and see exactly what the email shows.
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sending to djflowentertainment.com.
Okay.
But I'm also I'm not sending to Stacy. I'm sending to info. And info is very that's okay. But info is very much 1990s. Again, we're both old school. I'm just trying to help you out here because I do this. You mentioned couples and how they want your personal attention and they want a personal experience. So personalize it. It's Stacy.
Right. Okay.
At DJ Flow Entertainment. Okay. Or it's Marty at DJ Flow Entertainment. You can even have these email forwarded to your Gmail account.
Right.
So if, I mean, if you want to continue to look at stuff through Gmail, you can have it forwarded there. They'll never know. You just want to make sure that when you reply to the email, that it's not your Gmail reply address, but that it's your djflowentertainment.com email address that you're replying from. And again, you can do all of that through Gmail or through Outlook or some other email program.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah. I thought info was better because I used to be just yeah, our email was really bad before. So
Okay, so we won't talk
I'm
about
going
that.
up slowly but surely.
Well, info is not the worst. There, I mean, there's Hottie at Hotmail. You know, I mean, come on, please. You know, if, especially if you're talking weddings,
Right.
because couples do not want something at Hotmail. You know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, no.
swipe right. All right, I'm on a tangent. I didn't mean for this to turn into you know, a DJ manager or a DJI sales presentation. That's not my goal. My ultimate goal is that you find a tool that works for you, or but best something that you can live with, if
Right.
that makes sense. So I've given you some choices, some options, and some ideas. If you have questions,
Yeah, no. So now I'm gonna go look at you know, the DJ Intelligence. I'm gonna figure out which one I think is better, DJ Intelligence or Google Forms. I think I already know.
mhm,
You know, and you just have a little bit more to offer or more to get from DJ Intelligence, whereas Google Forms is just Google Forms.
right.
Now, when you do DJ Intelligence, do you know, like, is it pretty easy to fill in and just it uploads to your site, or like, how does that?
There's a couple of really cool tools. The first one is if you have a form on your website that says, send me information regarding DJ Flow Entertainment, when they fill out that information, you'll get a text message from DJ Intelligence that says, this person wants to know about your service. And you'll get an email with all their contact information in it. So if you're on the road, you can respond right away because their information is right there. Or, okay, see, in the old days, not everybody had, you know, their contact information on a phone. So that was a pretty cool tool. Now your email is usually on your phone, so it doesn't matter. But if your email is not on your phone, then getting a text message can really be helpful. Okay.
Right.
But once they fill out that form, then you're in communication with them. Do you have a process in your office for following up with each inquiry regarding your services?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I hear like there's certain amount of times that you want to follow up. I need to figure out a better way to follow up with, you know, inquiries and everything else, and how many times, you know, and how, you know, often to follow through. And, you know, sometimes
Well,
I feel like I wait like 3 weeks. I'm like, hey, you still
oh no,
need
that's too long. That's too long. That's why if you have an automated system that they don't know is automated,
uh-huh.
it'll look as though you personally replied. The information that they ask for when they fill out that form and say, tell me about DJ Flow Entertainment, this is
Uh-huh.
intelligence. It has an automatic reply that you can set up that will actually fill in what they said was the event.
Okay.
So it'll fill in their name, Stacy. We're excited to help you with your, and then fill in the event, wedding on, and then it fills in the date that they told you when the date was, right? And
Right.
we'll be reaching out to you soon with more information regarding our services or whatever it is that you want to say. So
Oh,
that's,
wow.
they get that right away. It's like an automated auto reply. It's not as cool as in Faver because it won't have your signature and all that stuff. It won't look like it's a personal email. It's more of
Right.
like just an autoresponder, but at least it's something.
Right.
But you have to have a process then where you're putting that information into, whether it's a document or a spreadsheet or a database, which is ideal, and then sending them information.
Okay.
Okay. Full circle. I asked about anniversaries. I've already booked 2 events. What is the date today? Today's the 10th. By the 6th of January, I'd already booked 2 events simply because I was wishing somebody happy anniversary.
Oh, nice.
One, they never got married, right? They got married in the court, but I was wishing them happy anniversary because I had their old wedding date that they didn't get that they got married at the court. Now they're having a 10-year anniversary, and they're going to reaffirm their vows and all that. They want to DJ.
Oh,
And,
nice.
and then the other one was I'm not married anymore, but I'm getting married again. And I get to do that twice. So,
And those are happening. Yeah. And that's one thing also that I want to, the anniversary, that it's like, how awkward is it if I send an anniversary card and they're not married anymore?
That is my favorite question. That is my absolute favorite question. And the answer is, it doesn't matter if they're married still or not. What really matters is, do you have a response? And is the response touching enough that you can remain their friend? So I say, Stacy, thanks for the update. Divorce is a time of mixed emotions and change. My best wishes for a smooth and successful transition into what will be the next chapter in your life story.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, well, I know you do. Listen, I worked on this. And that's part of what In Favor brings to the party, if you will, is that we're going to help you craft quality copy so that when they say, I'm not married anymore, take me off your list, and you respond like that, and then they say, oh, that was so thoughtful. You can keep me on your list. Just take his name off.
Right.
Right. And of course, so then you do the update. And the update then allows you to continue to, stay connected with them.
Okay.
So that's the answer to the what if they're divorced question.
Right. Yeah. Because that's always like what I get worried about. I'm like,
Well, but the is when you don't have a comeback.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right. And they're not going to see this ever again. I mean, odds are good that they're not going to see it again unless they're married 3 or 4 times. So you use it once and it serves its purpose.
Right. Okay. I like that one. Well, now I've got all my homework to go look into.
Oh, and see, now I'll leave you with, because you mentioned bridal homework. Yeah, which I love, but I call mine just homework.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're doing weddings for couples, 2 guys, 2 girls, then
and that's
bridal
what I saw. You don't say bride or groom, you just say couple now, don't you?
Correct. If I actually know that they're a bride and groom, then I'll refer to them as a bride and a groom. If I know that they're 2 men, I refer to them as grooms, unless they have specifically said we prefer, and then they fill in the blank. Sorry about the background noise.
It's okay. I've got it going on here.
Okay. Yeah, but I have nothing to do with that guy who was just going. Anyway, so you've got some ideas and some options. If there's anything else, you've got my digits, and I'd be happy to help.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your help. And I will definitely be looking over everything. And you definitely gave me all kinds of information, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you, Stacy.